Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another Crypto Casual episode. I'm your host, Chuck, your crypto esoteric coach. We like to keep things casual here. We casually talk about cryptocurrencies, BTC, finance, and the esoteric. We'll intermingle that in there, and if you don't know what the esoteric is, look it up or go to one of my first videos and we sort of break down what esoteric is. It just means inner knowledge, inner wisdom. And in order to get financial freedom, we need to go inward and learn and educate ourselves, um, especially in the new crypto age or the new electrical age or consciousness. We'll get into that later. But for now, do me a favor, take a moment and please like, subscribe, click on the notification bell if you like these videos. If you don't, feel free to comment and tell me why, and we'll see if we can improve that, because these are the beginning videos. My editor's out of town. These things will look a lot better with screens and everything later, but for now we're just putting out the videos and trying to give you some good content and educate you before the crypto revolution really takes off. And so basically the purpose of this channel is just to show successful strategies, frameworks on how to grow simple and rich. And we're going to do this by understanding not only the esoteric and the consciousness of cryptocurrencies and BTC, and if it can possibly help you deal with your own esoteric knowledge and growth. Just right off the bat, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not anyone's financial advisor. I'm just sharing what I've learned over the years. I buy and sell cryptocurrencies according to the way I buy them. I have my own strategies. I'll share some of those strategies with you. But the ultimate responsibility of educating yourself about cryptocurrencies is on you. If you want to do deep dive, just because I'm just some guy on the internet, and don't do just what some guy on the internet says to do. Is you need to do your own research, and that's taking responsibility. That's esoteric sovereignty. So just do your own research, and don't, for now, I don't invest more than I'm willing to lose. But the dollar's losing 20 to 30% every year. Your buying power is going down. They're printing more money. So for me, it's not a question of where I want to put my money. It's just, do I take the action and put it where I'm going to get the most out of it? So let's get on with this. And if you go to my earlier videos, I sort of gave a format of what I'll be doing. Sort of to just review that real quick. The esoteric insight. The format, the way I'm laying it out, is I'm going to give some sort of esoteric information or insight or a topic or a question or something to make you think. And then we're going to move into sort of a behavioral framework of the day. And what I mean by that is we got to look at how we learn, why we learn, what are our obstacles to learning, and we'll go over how to attain or break through some of those obstacles, so you can better take in the new information. I'll go into the crypto definition of the day. I'll give you the news of the day, the strategy of the day. I'll give you some crypto prices. Very simple, what Bitcoin or Ethereum's at. Again, we're keeping it casual. There's enough other people that deep dive: Crypto Zombie, Chico Crypto, Crypto, Mark Moss, George Gammon. These guys are really brilliant, and well, I'll be announcing the one I like or something I liked from one of their videos, and I'll just refer you over to one of those videos. But we'll go from the crypto prices. We'll go, and I'll give you top 3 picks of the day that I like, that I'm personally in, or I'm still researching. And then again, I'll give you the influencer of the day, someone I liked or some news they gave or some sort of program they gave. I'll refer you to their site. They're not paying me anything. This is just me sharing the wealth, and people who, because there's people who want to superficially study and just get the information. There's some that'll dive a little deep, and then there's the deep divers. So this channel will refer you to the deep divers, but I just want to educate on the casual information about crypto. It's up to you to how deep you want to dive. I can't give an audience. Audiences are all different, so I'm just giving you, I keep things simple in my own life. If things are distractive, I get rid of them. I only welcome into my life things that are, we'll call it harmonious right now, for a lack of a better term. But again, we'll get into the influencer of the day, and then I'll sort of give you a book of the day. And that's basically the format. So with further ado, let's sort of just get going on that. Um, so the esoteric information of the day, basically for now, and we'll deep dive in a casual way later on, and we'll interject esoteric information in there in each episode. But for now, Bitcoin, if we can look at Bitcoin, the blockchain, cryptocurrency, as energy. Uh, Energy is also a byproduct of electricity. And in religious perspectives, we call it chi or prana or life force. So Bitcoin in itself has an electrical consciousness. And I talked in one of my first videos about it being the second consciousness or the second coming of the new consciousness. I'm not here to offend anyone's religion or try to say that my God or their gods are better than anyone else's God. It's not. There's a consciousness. Consciousness is just awareness. And so we're coming into a new awareness. And this happens because of technology and other circumstances that get us to speed up the process. And we'll dive into that on another episode. But for now, that's your esoteric knowledge of the day, is that Bitcoin is just energy. It's currency, electrical currency. And currency has a consciousness of its own. If you want to deep dive into that, electrical engineering, start studying that. And then let's go over into the behavioral framework of the day. So in your life, there's an outcome, right? Or let's first go to the behavior. You have behaviors, and because of those behaviors, it creates an outcome, right? And so if you don't like the outcome, change the behavior. Now, how do you change the behavior? Well, that's because something has affected you, or there was a cause of your behavior. And so if we can look at the cause, and we'll go into this in the frameworks throughout all these episodes, because it's just too much to unpack. It take at least minimum just to introduce it about 10 hours. And I'm also working on a program where you can get into these videos and how to unpack and understand where your framework, how you developed your framework, what caused your behavior. And what caused your behavior is normally because something affected that cause. And so the effect comes from we gave a meaning to an effect that created the cause, that created the behavior, that created the outcome. And this is sort of NLP, behavior therapy, or cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and other programs. And I've just taken these over the last 30 years and sort of put them into my own spin. You can go into any of these studies if you're in psychology, parapsychology, any of these which I've studied. It'll help you understand your framework of why you even think. So basically, when you give a meaning to something, that meaning then has an effect, and that effect then causes something, and that causes causing your behavior. Now, who's causing all this, and what creates the meaning that created the effect? Well, it's your interpretation, right? Your internal representation. How do you get your internal representation? It's based off of your experiences, your life event. So basically, we could say the life event or experience you experienced, you then interpreted it, and through that interpretation of what just happened to you, you then apply meaning to it. And the meaning you apply to it is based off of past beliefs. If you're following me there. If not, put a comment down below and I'll see where I'm not making sense or it's not clear. Again, I'm trying to sort of rush some of this. I want to keep these videos short, between 10 and 15 minutes. But you can easily see that any of this stuff that I talk about can be unpacked into hours and hours. But for now, just understand the pattern that when you have a life event or an experience, be it bad, good, or indifferent, you're going to apply some sort of interpretation to it. And that interpretation then is defined, which that defined or definition becomes a meaning. That a meaning is the effect. And so that effect will then create the cause of what actions you take next or what thought you think next. And from that cause, then you will act out or behave in a certain way. Again, bad, good, indifferent to the circumstance or the event or the experience. And because of that cause, you will then, in your behavior, you have the outcome of your behavior. And so to keep it simple, you have a life event, you have the interpretation, the meaning, the effect, the cause, the behavior, and the outcome. So if you want different outcomes, if you're financially struggling right now, that's your thoughts that are on a repeating pattern. So if you want to break the pattern and have a different outcome, then the solution to all this is going to be educate yourself on what you want to learn, not what other people are trying to force you to learn. Or what doesn't vibrate with you. If you're not excited about what you're learning, if you're not excited about your own financial future or your spiritual sovereignty or your own health or your own wealth, then, and if you want others to have power over that, I'm not against that. But if you want your own sovereignty, then you're going to have to educate yourself, especially with Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and your financial well-being. All right, let's sort of go on. But again, we can unpack that as far as we want. Let's go into the definition of the crypto definition of the day. And some of y'all know this, that's great. Some of you don't, because again, a lot of these videos are for beginners or people who they're beginning to reframe the way in which they are understanding this new technology. So I'm just keeping it casual and simple, right? I want a simple and rich life. I don't want a difficult and struggling life. I just want a simple and rich life. And that's me. So we're going to use the word you'll hear around the crypto space is called DeFi, and that stands for decentralized finance. And what's decentralized finance? The opposite of that is centralized. So you have your central banks, and the central banks are in charge of how much the dollar is, how much inflation is. They are an institution, and they are in essence in control of your money. Or that's an incorrect term, it's fiat money or currency. Fiat just means it's government has decreed it to be so. But we know the dollar's losing 20 to 30% every year. It's being inflated. Your buying power is depreciating, as we talked on other videos. But that's what central institutions do. They control your outcome. And so DeFi puts the power back in yours, so it's decentralized. So we no longer need the banks to take out a loan if we want to off our own collateral or asset. And so our assets, cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, if you will, and then we can take our own loan, and within hours or a day, you have money in your or currency, which you can easily turn right back into Bitcoin, or you can pay off high interest loans with your credit cards or whatever. And most of the DeFis are at a lower rate, and plus you can make interest off of your money by putting it, or your currency, if you change it into a stable coin and put it on one of these sites like BlockFi, you can then make 6, 7, 8, 9% on your money, like it really used to be in banks. But that's our definition of the day is DeFi. So let's sort of go on to the news of the day. I scour all the news of crypto, Bitcoin, and I sort of bring what I think is interesting. And one of the ones, the news of today, is that according to CryptoCoin.news, their article that was written is that their title was India sees a 200% fold increase in crypto investments over the last 12 months. And the story was originally written, I think it was in June 7th of this year, but later picked up by Bloomberg News. And Bloomberg, basically, their title was Even Gold-Obsessed Indians Are Now Pouring Billions into Crypto. And so 12 months ago, they put about $200 million, 200 to 400, depending on what you're reading, $1 million into crypto a year ago. Well, fast forward to 12 months later, they've now put $40 billion. So they went from millions to billions. And so they believe, Bloomberg, the article they wrote, basically suspects that India may be ditching gold for crypto. So read that article, go on to CryptoCoin.news, you can read the article there. So that's our news of the day. So India is looking, they've been going back and forth for years about making it legal and illegal, but the central banks, again, the central control banks, want to control people's money, but no one can control Bitcoin. And so the Indians and other countries are waking up to this, that they're going to buy crypto because they are custody holders of their own cryptocurrencies, or they can give it to someone else, but not your codes, not your coins, as they say. So onward. All right. the strategy of the day. How for me was the best way to accumulate uh, my crypto. And basically, I cost averaged in. What does that mean? It's just every time I had extra money, I put it into cryptocurrency. And we'll talk at later times, I did side hustles. I've been an entrepreneur most of my life. And so I'm always doing things to flip and then make money, and then I take that or currency, and then I take that and buy cryptocurrencies with it. And then my portfolio basically is 50, 25, 25. 50% of my holdings would be Bitcoin, 25% are what we call larger capitalization, or some of the cryptocurrencies that are a top 10, if you will, within the space. That means their capitalization, that means the volume of which it's being traded and how many people are buying it are pretty strong. And we'll talk about that at some other time, because this video is already getting a little long and I want to go ahead and rush it up. I got things to do. I got things to study, so I wanted to get this video out. I hadn't put one out last day because we had the holidays. And then also, so I'm cost averaging in, and for anyone that could be each week after you get a paycheck, or if you developed or you flip something and then you got money from that, put it into crypto. That's what I did. I can't tell you what to do with your money. That's up to you and your sovereign decision. But for me, that was what I've always done, cost average. And then as you cost average and you just hold it and don't sell it, if you just hold it for 4 years, especially BTC, Bitcoin, every 4 years, anyone who's bought within 4 years, after 4 years, your Bitcoin is up. So right now it's 50% off. It was up to around 60, 64,000, and now it's around 30, 34,000. So it's 50% off. So anytime my favorite shirts go on sale at 50% off, I swoop up a few. And so when Bitcoin's at 30% off, because tomorrow or the next day or next week it could be 100 grand. So right now 30 grand is a huge discount, and it can possibly go lower, and that's great. I'll cost average in, and I'm going to also buy the dip. So Bitcoin does have a big dip, 10%, 20, 30%. I have extra money on the side to buy in. I have them waiting in stable coins, so when that happens, I'm on different sites, and we can get into how to get into sites and how to prepare yourself for when Bitcoin does do an extreme up or down. Then we're prepared, and those will be more strategies as we talk in later videos. And even still, with that 50% discount from 60,000 down to 30,000, Bitcoin is still up 300% for the year. And for the last 11 years, Bitcoin has been up 200% cumulatively for the last 11 years, like I said. So each year it goes up 2%. We were at 4% and it dropped as we did 50%. So now we're also at 300. Bitcoin's still 300% up. So it's still a hell of a deal. It beats the crap out of money or dollars. So we'll get into that at some other point. So basically, like I said, Bitcoin's probably around 34. As of making of this video, we're around 34,000. There's the 3 picks of my cryptocurrencies because they are at a discount rate right now. Chainlink is a good one. It's around $20 today, which its high was around 60. So you're getting a great bargain if you're buying that one. SCE, which is Society of Galactic Exploration. This is a very risky coin, a risky endeavor, but I'm okay with that. Again, I'm willing to lose that money or that currency, if you will. And it's at 0.00000004. So for $100, you can get millions and millions of tokens off of that. If it does great, you make a lot of money. If not, you've only lost $100. And Polkadot is a really good network. It's under the sign dot. Chainlink is under link. SCE is Society for Galactic Exploration. And Polkadot will be under the sign dot. And you can look up on CoinGecko or CoinMarket.com. You can find all the prices. And we'll have a whole separate video just for how to navigate those. But Polkadot's around $17. And it was also up to around $60. So you can buy them right now, and they're at a heck of a discount. And so let's get to the influencer of the day. The influencer of the day, I'm going to say today, is Mark Moss. Look up his channel. I don't have links yet. I'll eventually have links where you can just go in and down below and link up to him. But Mark Moss, he's got great content. He's a deep diver, and he's a big picture guy that can reduce it down into simple terms. So watch what you can on his. Soros, which is a big billionaire philanthropist. This guy takes over banks and made billions of dollars in one day by bankrupting the Bank of England and a few other banks. Anyway, he's a real smart dude, but he's getting into crypto now because he's smart enough to see that crypto is a great investment. And you can look up that article again. We're not going to deep dive into everything that's going on. It's too long of a video. And the book of the day is going to be Nomad Capitalist by Andrew Henderson. And it's great to just go listen to him. You don't have to have 6 or 7 figures, financial figures is who he deals with, but it's great knowledge. So he does have a book out. You can get it on Amazon. It's called The Nomad Capitalist, and it's basically when you do start making money with crypto, a lot of money, then you have a lot more options. And so his business basically in his book is about being a nomad capitalist, traveling around the world, go where you're treated best, where your money's where you don't have to pay capital gains as you do in the like 40-50% in the U.S. Other ones like El Salvador and a few others have zero. Puerto Rico zero capital gains. So what I wanted to sort of end on is understanding that if you had $10,000 right now and you invested in Bitcoin and you waited a year and Bitcoin goes up 200%, and so we'll keep it basically at that number for now. I'm trying to find a number video I had up. There we go. And so why I choose Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies over the dollar is because let's look at something very simple. So we'll call it scenario 1 BTC. So if I had $10,000 and I invested it and I held on to it for a whole year, and Bitcoin on average is going up 200%, that's an extra $2,000 I made in a year, right? So I can add that 2,000 to 10,000. I now have $12,000 in my investment. Scenario 2, fiat dollar, the one that's losing 20-30%. So again, we are going to put our $10,000 in a traditional controlled centralized bank, and it's going to lose 30%. So if you include the inflation, the devaluing of your dollar that's losing 20-25%, you add all that together, it's about 35%, but we'll just, for simple figures, make it around 30%. So you multiply 10,000 that's sitting in your bank, and the 30% is what you're going to lose, because that's what the dollar's losing, the value of the dollar's losing. If not, look it up. We can have another day where I'll show you charts when I'm more set up. But 10,000 times 30% is $3,000. So now you subtract the $3,000 from the $10,000 and you end up with $7,000. So your $10,000 sitting in the bank has lost $3,000, so now you're sitting with $7,000. But scenario 1, my BTC has made me $2,000, so I'm sitting on $12,000. So a simple decision, a logical decision is: do you want $2,000 less next year, or do you want $2,000 more next year? So I'll end this video on that, and we look forward to seeing you next time. So again, please leave a comment. I'm open to them. If you're just a hater, I'm not really going to read them. But if you have constructive criticism, because I am new, getting used to my feet on the ground, I'm okay with critiques. So if you can, again, please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. So until next time, keep it casual.